I woke up in my sister's body, screaming her name into a mirror that showed Victoria's perfect, Botox smooth face staring back, mine now. But not mine. The first words out of her mouth when she finally answered my frantic calls were, "Alice. Honey. We had to sell your apartment while you were
away."
It was for the best. And that's when I knew she'd stolen my life, framed me for her embezzlement, and buried the body swap deep enough to make me the villain in my own story. The rain hammered Chicago like it had a personal grudge, turning the streets into rivers of regret. I huddled under the awning of a corner bodega on the south side. My new heels, Victoria's Louboutins, size 8 instead of my 7, pinching like accusations. It was my first full day in this stolen skin, and already the world felt off-kilter, like I'd been dropped into a funhouse mirror version of reality. My hands, her hands, trembled as I clutched the burner phone I'd bought with the last $20 in her designer wallet. I'd called her 3 times before she picked up, her voice all honeyed concern, like we were still the Weaver sisters, thick as thieves. "Alice? Oh God. Where are you? The police have been by the house again. They think you skipped town after. You know." She trailed off. But I knew. The embezzlement. The missing $3 million from her husband's hedge fund. The crime she'd pinned on me. Her mousy accountant sister. Because who else would they believe? The quiet one with the trust fund grudge and the airtight alibi. Hers. I swallowed hard, tasting the unfamiliar bitterness of her morning kale smoothie still lingering on her tongue. "Victoria, what the fuck did you do to me?" My voice came out higher, silkier, laced with that Midwestern polish she'd cultivated at Yale. It wasn't mine. Nothing was. A pause. Then a sigh that could curdle milk. "Alice, you're not making sense. You've been gone for weeks. The doctor said the stress from the audit might have
cracked you."
Listen, we sold your apartment. Cash flow issues with the fund. It went quick, some tech bro from Silicon Valley. You'll thank me later. Sold my apartment. The one I'd scraped together for down payment after Dad's funeral. The one with the exposed brick walls and the view of Lake Michigan that made me feel like I belonged in this godforsaken city. My sanctuary. Now some venture capitalists pied a terra. Rage boiled up, hot and unfamiliar in this body that moved like it owned the room, shoulders back, chin high, every step a declaration. "You bitch," I whispered, but it came out as a purr. "You swapped us. That retreat in the Rockies, your wellness escape with the neurotech guru. You drugged me, hooked me up to that machine, and now I'm you. And you're living my life free and clear. Laughter. Light and tinkling like wind chimes in a hurricane."
"Oh, Alice."
Paranoia suits you, even in your delusions. Get help. Or don't. But stay away from Evan. He's worried sick about his unstable wife. She hung up. I smashed the phone against the pavement, shards scattering like my shattered identity. Evan. My brother-in-law. The golden boy of Wall Street. With his Ivy League smirk and hands that lingered too long on Victoria's waist, and now, apparently, on mine, if she was playing house in my body. The thought made my stomach churn. This wasn't just betrayal, it was erasure. She'd buried our childhood pact under layers of ambition. We look out for each other.
Al.
Always.
Lies.
All of it. I needed a plan. Revenge wasn't a spark, it was a slow burn. The kind that leveled blocks in these windy streets. First, survival. I flagged a cab. Her credit card still worked. Thank God. And headed to the only place I could think of, the old family brownstone in Lincoln Park. Dad left it to both of us. Split down the middle like his will. Victoria had the east wing, marble counters and a wine cellar. I had the west, creaky floors and a clawfoot tub. Fair,
She'd said. Equal.
The cabbie dropped me at the wrought iron gate. Rain sluicing off my coat, her Burberry trench. Monogrammed VW. The butler, Reginald, answered the bell with his usual stiff bow. Mrs. Hargrove, you're soaked. Shall I draw a bath? I stepped inside, dripping on Persian rugs that cost more than my old salary. Reginald.
It's
Complicated. Call me Alice for now. His eyebrows arched like cathedral spires, but he nodded. Old money loyalty, loyal to the house, not the face. Upstairs, in my wing, her wing now, I peeled off the sodden clothes, staring at the stranger in the full-length mirror. Victoria's body was a weapon, 5'9", curves honed by Pilates and personal trainers, skin like porcelain under the vanity lights. Mine had been softer, shorter, the kind that blended into crowds at Wrigley Field tailgates. I traced the faint scar on her hip from that skiing accident in Aspen. Hers, not mine. We'd laughed about it once, swapping stories over cheap Chianti in my apartment.
sisters. Blood.
The swap. It hit me in flashes. The retreat. Her surprise gift for my 35th birthday. A secluded lodge in the Rockies. All cedar beams and holistic vibes. The neurotherapist.
Dr.
Elias Crow. With his wire-rimmed glasses and TED Talk smile. Body-mind synchronization, he'd called it. Unlock your true potential by experiencing your loved one's essence. Victoria had volunteered us the alpha,
Me.
the beta. Electrodes. For drips. A humming machine that tasted like ozone. Then blackness. Waking up here. In her silk sheets.
While she. God.
She was probably sipping my Folgers in my kitchenette right now. Scrolling my emails. I rifled through her drawers. Designer labels. A pearl necklace from Evan. And tucked in the back, a flash drive labeled contingency. Plugged it into her laptop. Password was our childhood cat. Whiskers 69. Because of course. Files upon files. Forged ledgers showing me siphoning funds from Hargrove Capital. Emails to shell companies in the Caymans. Routed through my IP. And, the kicker, a video.
Me.
In my body. Confessing to the theft on camera. Tears streaming. But the eyes. They were hers. Cold. Calculating. She'd deep-faked it. Or worse, coerced it during the swap haze. My hands shook as I downloaded it all to a cloud drive only I knew. Evidence. The seed of revenge. But I needed more. Allies. And in this city of cutthroat deals, that meant going low. I dressed in her most nondescript outfit. Jeans. A cashmere sweater. Loafers that screamed old money and slipped out. The loop was a neon blur. Skyscrapers clawing at the storm clouds. I ducked into a dive bar off Michigan Avenue. The kind where lawyers drowned ethics in bourbon. That's where I found Tommy Ruiz. My old contact from the DA's office days. Ex-cop. Now PI. With a nose like a bloodhound and a liver like a sieve. Alice Weaver. He squinted over his Boilermaker. Recognition flickering. Shit. You look
Different.
gym membership. Body swap.
Tommy.
Long story. Short version. My sister's fucking me over.
Hard.
Needs your discretion and your Rolodex. He whistled low, sliding a stool my way. Weaver. The accountant who vanished mid-audit? Hargrove's on the news. Offering rewards. Your sister's wait. Victoria's, playing the grieving sibling card like a pro. She's in my body.
Tommy.
Living my life. Sold my place out from under me while the ink's still wet on the frame job. I slid him the flash drive.
They.
Quietly. I need dirt on her. And Evan. Anything that sticks. He pocketed it, eyes gleaming like a shark scenting chum. $5,000 up front. And Alice? If this is as bat's hit as it sounds, you might want to lawyer up. Chicago eats its own. I wired the money from her account, petty cash for her. As I left, the rain easing to a drizzle, I felt the first twist of the knife turning. Revenge wasn't just payback, it was reclamation. But deep down, a whisper. What if she did it for me? What if the swap was mercy? Hiding something worse? I shoved it down. Sisters don't sell your soul for stock options. Back at the brownstone, Reginald had left a tray. Caviar. Champagne. A note. For the lady of the house. I poured it down the sink, opting for her hidden stash of single malt scotch. The burn steadied me. Phase 1 infiltrate. Tomorrow, I'd show up at Hargrove Capital as Victoria, demand access. Play the part until the mask slipped. But sleep evaded me. In her bed, sheets scented with her Chanel, I dreamed of the machine. Wires pulsing like veins.
Dr.
Crow's voice, embrace the exchange. Become whole.
Whole.
What a joke. Victoria had always been the whole one, prom queen, Wall Street bride, the sun to my shadow. I'd borne her messes since we were kids, covering her shoplifting sprees, forging Dad's signature for her college loans, even that hidden run she'd sobbed about after prom. You understand.
Al.
You're the smart one. I'd cleaned it up, buried the secret, because blood.
Now.
She was burying me. Dawn broke gray over the lake, and I armored up, power suit, red soles clicking like gunshots down the hall. Reginald drove me to the Loop, the city awakening to its daily grind of ambition and assholes. Hargrove Capital occupied the top 3 floors of a glass monolith, all sleek lines and security cams. The receptionist buzzed me up, face recognition. No questions. Evan's office was a shrine to excess, Eames chairs, abstract art that cost small fortunes, a view that made you feel like God. He was on a call, back to the door, when I entered. Darling, he said without turning, tell accounting to stall the auditors. Vic's sister's the leak, we'll pin it on her flight risk. I cleared my throat, her throat. He spun, face paling then flushing.
Victoria?
You look rested. I crossed to him, hips swaying in that effortless way she had, and kissed his cheek. Cold, calculated. Evan, we need to talk about Alice. She's unraveling. And my apartment, why sell it without asking? His eyes darted. Hand on my waist, possessive.
Familiar.
Stress. Baby. The funds hemorrhaging. Besides, she won't miss it.
She's
Gone.
gone.
The word hung like smoke. I pulled away, forcing a laugh. Gone? Or framed? Show me the books. He hesitated, then logged me in. Lies everywhere. Transfers to my accounts. Timestamps during my vacation. But buried in the metadata, a ghost. A Cayman wire to an entity called VW. Legacy Trust. Victoria Weaver. Her escape hatch. I printed it all, tucking pages into my bag. "We fix this together," I said, voice dripping sincerity. "For us." He bought it, pulling me close. His breath on my neck wrong, invasive. I endured it for the keycard he slipped me later, full access to the server room. By noon, I had copies of everything. Revenge blueprint. But as I left, her phone buzzed. Unknown number. "Alice, stop digging, or the video goes viral." Love.
Vic.
She knew. The game was on. The server room in the bowels of Hargrove Capital smelled like ozone and overheated circuits. A digital crypt where fortunes rose and fell with a keystroke. I swiped the keycard at midnight, the building a skeleton crew of night owls and janitors. Dressed in black, her yoga pants and hoodie. Anonymous, I moved like a shadow, heart pounding in this chest that wasn't built for stealth. Victoria's body was all grace. No grit. My old one would have blended better. Knees scraped from softball leagues. Hands calloused from weekend DIY. The door hissed open. Banks of blinking lights greeting me like accusatory eyes. I plugged in Tommy's thumb drive, his magic box, loaded with forensic software he'd sworn could crack Fort Knox. Fingers flying over the keyboard, I sifted through terabytes, client lists, offshore havens, the sordid underbelly of high finance. There it was, the smoking gun. Not just the embezzlement, but the root rot. Victoria hadn't stolen for greed alone. She'd been laundering for something darker. A network of political donors, shell companies tied to a senator's campaign. Bribery. Blackmail files on rivals, including Dad's old partner who'd sued us into the ground after the mill closed. Dad. The secret she'd buried deepest. That hit and run? It wasn't some drunk teen. It was her, high on coke at a frat party, plowing into a pedestrian, Dad's whistleblower buddy, the one who'd uncovered the pension fraud at the factory. I'd taken the fall back then, perjuring myself in the internal investigation, saying I'd seen a ghost driver. For family, she'd whispered, tears crocodile fresh. I'd borne it, lost my shot at law school, settled for numbers instead of justice. And now this. A file caught my eye, swap protocol docs.
Dr.
Crow's notes. Emailed to her private server. The machine wasn't wellness bullshit, it was black market neural mapping, funded by the same dirty donors. Temporary transference for asset protection, it read. She'd planned it, swapped us to dodge the heat, live as the innocent sister while I rotted in her gilded cage. Suspected felon. Rage blurred my vision. I copied it all. Then impulse. Controversial as hell, I planted a worm. Tommy's code. Tweaked to drip feed the files to a whistleblower site. Anonymous leaks. Timed for maximum chaos. Not full revenge yet, just a jab. Testing her flinch. Alarms didn't blare, too quiet for that, but my phone did. Evan. Where are you? Security glitch, logs show Victoria in the vault. I ghosted him. Slipping out a service exit into the alley. Garbage stench masking my sweat. Uber to a motel in Pilsen. The artsy underbelly where murals wept color in the rain. Checked in as V. Smith. Paid cash from her emergency fund. Sleep was fitful. Dreams of circuits fusing with veins, her face overlaying mine like a glitchy hologram. Morning brought headlines on my burner. Hedge fund scandal rocks Chicago elite. Leaks suggest insider fraud. Victoria's photo, my old face. Wide-eyed and wholesome, plastered everywhere. Victim's sister in hiding. They painted me as the mastermind. Vanished with the loot. Tommy called at dawn. Voice gravel from lack of sleep.
Jesus.
Alice. You lit a match in a powder keg. Got hits on the senator. Guys sweating. Calling in favors.
And your sis?
She's holed up in your old place. Playing house with a PI of her own. Good, I said, pacing the threadbare carpet. Tail her. I need in. Risky. She's got muscle now, Evan's security detail. Then make it dirtier. Controversial decision number 1. I authorized a hack on her phone. Tommy's guy. Some basement coder in Wicker Park.
For $1,000.
By noon, I had texts, her plotting with Crow to permanently sever the link. Reverse the swap, or kill the original. My blood ran cold. I hit the streets, her body turning heads even in a thrift store trench. Coffee at a Ukrainian diner. Eavesdropping on traders griping about Hargrove dips. Whispers of lawsuits.
Est-ce ses probes?
My doing. Power surged. Dark and addictive, this body craved control like caffeine. Afternoon. The brownstone. Reginald, let me in. Face etched with worry. Mrs. Hargrove. The police were here. Asking after Miss Alice. Tell them she's safe. With family. I retreated to her study. Walls lined with first editions Dad would have hated, gilded lies. Rifled her safe. Deeds. Jewelry. A letter from Crow. The exchange holds 72 hours max without booster. Administer serum or risk neural collapse. Timestamp. Yesterday. She was racing the clock. Same as me. Evening brought confrontation. I drove her Beamer to my old building, sold, but the new owner hadn't moved in yet. Broker's lockbox hung loose. I jimmied it, slipping upstairs. The apartment smelled of fresh paint and ghosts, my bookshelves bare. Kitchen stripped of my mismatched mugs. And there she was in my body, 5'4" and freckled, curled on the window seat with a glass of my boxed wine. Alice. She startled, then sneered my sneer. Twisted. Or should I say, Sis, you wear me well. The hips don't lie. I locked the door, key in pocket.
Victoria.
Or do I call you the coward hiding in my skin? She laughed. My laugh, throaty, unladylike. Coward? I saved us. The fund was toxic, Evan's mess. Not mine.
But you.
Always the martyr. Taking Dad's fall. Now this. I gave you an out. Live large. Let me clean up. Bullshit. I advanced. Her heels echoing. You framed me for your laundering. Sold my home like trash. And a swap? To dodge jail? My eyes narrowed. Partial truth. Dad's secret wasn't just the hidden run. He killed that guy on purpose, silencing the fraud whistleblower. I found the logs years ago. We both covered it.
But you.
You were weak. I made you strong. Lies layered like onion skin. I grabbed her, my arm twisting. The serum. Where? She winced, but smirked. In your purse.
Victoria.
Bottomless pit. I released her, bolting to the bag. Vial intact. glowing faintly under the hall light. One dose left. For her?
Or me?
We circled like wolves in my living room. Give it back, she hissed. Evan suspects. The leaks you're doing?
Petty. Al.
Petty? You erased me. Voice breaking her voice. Melodic even in fury. She lunged for the vial. I dodged, elbowing her, myself, into the wall.
Thud.
A photo frame crashed. Us at 10. Gap-toothed grins on the dunes. Innocence buried. Truce, she gasped, sliding down. We swap back. Share the fallout. Sisters. The word hung. Tempting. Controversial. Forgive? Or fracture? I pocketed the vial. Too late. You sold my life. As I left, her sob echoed my sob. Down the stairs. Into the night. The city pulsing with secrets. Tommy texted. Got her PI's dirt. Evan's cheating with her best friend. Leverage?
Yes.
Phase 2. Dismantle the empire. But the vial burned in my pocket.
Clock ticking.
Chicago's underbelly thrives at night, where the L rattles like judgment and dive bars serve truth shots with your Jameson. I met Tommy in a back booth at the Green Mill, jazz crooning low like a conspirator. He slid a dossier across the scarred oak, photos of Evan tangled in silk sheets with Cassandra Lowell, Victoria's sorority sister. Now Hargrove's marketing consultant, stamps on hotel keys. Lipstick shades not hers. Betrayal squared. Sloppy, Tommy grunted, lighting a Camel despite the no-smoking sign. Your bro-in-law's got a type, blondes with trust funds. Cassie's been siphoning too, side hustle. I flipped pages. Victoria's manicured nails tapping rhythm.
Good.
Use it. Controversial call. Blackmail. Not for money, for fracture. I drafted the email from a ghost account. Evan. Darling. Room 1408.
The Drake.
Again? Vic knows. Attach the pics.
Send.
By morning. Her. Phone exploded. Voicemails from a raging Evan. Texts from Victoria in my body. You bitch. Evan's confessing everything. Says you planted the evidence. Chaos blooming. Beautiful and black. I played power wife at the office. Striding into board meetings with her signature smile, sharp as a stiletto. Gentlemen, I purred. Channeling every rom-com boardroom scene. The leaks are sabotage. Alice Weaver's desperate. But we're pivoting full audit. Transparency pledge. Nods all around. Evan's face thunderous across the table. After. He cornered me in the executive washroom. Marble and mirrors. A farce of luxury. What the hell?
Vic?
Those photos, how? I adjusted my earrings. Cool as Lake Superior. Birds chirp. Evan.
Now.
About the affair. It ends. Or the board sees your consulting fees to Cassie. His hand shot out, gripping my arm, bruising this flawless skin. You threatening me? After I covered your sister's theft. My sister's. I yanked free, voice dropping to venom. Or the wife who's been laundering your bribes to Senator Hale? Eyes widened, busted.
Beak.
Baby. It's not. Save it.
Clean house.
Or I burn it down. I left him sputtering. The power intoxicating. This body-wielded influence like a blade. Mine had begged for scraps. Lunch at the Gauge. Power players in tweed. Dissecting the scandal over oysters. I overheard. A table of SEC suits dropped hints about Hargrove's Cayman ties. Planted seeds. Watch them sprout in whispers. Afternoon crow. I traced him to a clinic in River North. All feng shui and false hope. Posed as Victoria. Booking a follow-up. The waiting room reeked of patchouli and desperation, yuppies chasing enlightenment in 4 bags.
Dr.
Elias Crow entered like a cult leader. Linen suit. Salt and pepper beard. Eyes like black holes. Mrs. Hargrove. The exchange, holding. Flawlessly, I lied, crossing her legs. But Alice. She's resisting. The serum? He leaned in, breath minty with menace. Booster acquired. Or decoherence, madness. Essentially. Handed me a case, vials. Syringe. Administer covertly. She'll thank you in oblivion. Oblivion. The word chilled. I pocketed it. Then, twist of the knife, activated the recorder in her smartwatch. Tell me about the funding. Senator Hale's PAC, your text the conduit. He stiffened, smile cracking. Speculation?
My dear.
Wellness only. Cut the crap. Victoria's emails, your protocols, a get-out-of-jail-free card for the elite. Swap bodies. Dodge trials. How many exchanges? Silence. Then a sigh. Discretion is paramount. But yes. A service. For the right price. I stood, case in hand. Price just doubled. Testify against Hargrove. Or your little black market goes prime time. Threat hung heavy. He paled, Power's flip side. You wouldn't. Try me. Out the door. Pulse racing. Ally secured.
Coerced.
Evening, the brownstone. Reginald served osso buco. Eyes averted. The Miss Alice called. Distraught. Let her. I retreated to her wine cellar.
À Corking à 98 Bordeaux.
Sipped deep. Plotting. The leaks had tanked Hargrove stock 20%. Evan was scrambling. Liquidating assets. Victoria's text pleaded. Al. Stop. We're bleeding. Meet me, neutral ground. The old pier at Navy Pier. Midnight. Wind whipped off the lake. Waves slapping like applause for the damned. She waited in my body, bundled in my peacoat, silhouette small against the Ferris wheel's glow. You look ridiculous in that, I said, approaching. Her laugh, mine bitter. Says the woman in my Manolos. Truce. Alice? The serum's killing us both. Headaches. Blackouts.
Truth.
Migraines had started. Visions flickering, her memories bleeding into mine. Dad's funeral. Her stealing my prom date. The hit and run while jerking under frantic hands. Truce. I echoed. Vile glinting in moonlight. You stole my apartment. Framed me for your sins. Your sins too, she snapped, stepping close.
Face cinques, hers mine. Mine hers.
Dad's murder? You knew. We both buried it. I just finished the job. Murder. The word detonated. Flashes. Dad's journal.
Hidden in the attic.
Factory fraud. Whistleblower must go. His handwriting.
Steady.
She'd found it first. Acted.
Ide suspecta. Covered anyway.
You killed him. Whisper escaped. No, protected us. He was drowning us in debt.
Guilt.
Tears, my tears, tracked her cheeks. The swap was mercy. Live as me. Escape the mess. Mercy? Madness. I raised the syringe, controversial apex. Inject her. And the farce? Or us both? She lunged. We grappled. Pier creaking. Vials shattered on concrete. Serum lost to shadows. Now we're stuck, she gasped. Sirens wailed distant. Evan's doing? We bolted separate ways. Twins in exile. Back at the motel. Tommy waited. Crows talking. Feds inbound. But Vic's got a burner, calling Hale direct. Big play. The burn intensified. Revenge or redemption? Lines blurred in this borrowed flesh. The federal raid hit Hargrove Capitol like a thunderclap. Black SUVs screeching to the curb as dawn painted the loop in bloody hues. I watched from a coffee shop across the street, her latte steaming untouched, agents in windbreakers swarming the lobby. Evan in cuffs, mouthing denials. Victoria's empire crumbling, brick by digital brick. My leaks, Crow's testimony, Tommy's forensics, a house of cards in a gale. News vans swarmed like vultures. Insider trading ring busted, Hargrove heir among arrested. My old face, her and my body, flashed on screens. Missing sister key to probe. Irony bitter as black brew. Phone buzzed, Tommy. Feds want you or her. Statement time. Where? Grant Park. Bench by the bean. 1 hour. I hung up, weaving through tourists snapping selfies with the mirrored sculpture. It warped my reflection, her reflection into abstraction. Fitting. Tommy arrived rumpled. Coffee-stained tie. Alice. This is endgame. Hale's implicated, resigning by noon. But your sis?
She's ghosted.
Last ping, O'Hare. Private jet to the Caymans. Escaping. Again. Rage reignited. Hot and holy. Stop her.
Can't.
But I got this. Handed me a tablet. Airport cams. Grainy. Her, me hustling through security. Duffel slung. Hood up. My build. My gait, undeniable. Controversial fork. Chase? Or let karma's hounds hunt? I chose pursuit. Her jet. Evans Gulfstream. Impounded? No. A charter under VW. Legacy. I hit up Reginald. The Bentley.
Now.
He didn't question. Pulling up curbside. For the lady. Keys tossed. I floored it to O'Hare. Weaving tolls. Horns blaring like curses. The vial's loss haunted. Neural collapse loomed. Headaches pulsing like bass at a South Side club. Tarmac access. Flashed her ID. Breezed past security with a widow's poise. Hangar 7. The jet idling. Stares down. She boarded last. Glancing back. Paranoid. My paranoia. I sprinted. Heels ditched in the car. Victoria. She froze midway up. Turning slow. My face. Gaunt with fear.
Alice.
Go back. It's over. Not without you. I climbed. Pilot averting eyes bribed. No doubt. Cabin, leather thrones. Champagne flutes ready. We faced off as the door sealed. Engines whining assent. You ruined everything, she spat. Sinking into a seat. Evan's done. Hale's exposed. Dad's legacy. Your legacy, I countered. Strapping in. Turbulence hit like punctuation. Murder. Laundering. The swap, to bury it all under my name. She laughed. Hollow. Your name? The nobody accountant? Perfect patsy.
But you.
You were always complicit. Covering Dad's fraud. My accidents. Were the same.
Al.
Same? The word clawed. Memories surged, her hand in mine at Dad's grave, promising vengeance on the world that broke him. But she'd twisted it, built a throne on bones. Altitude leveled, I poured scotch, hers from the galley. The serum's gone. We're dying in each other's skins. Eyes met, mirrors infinite. Then end it. Crash us into the lake. Poetic.
Tempting.
Controversial zenith. Mutual destruction? Or forced truth?
No.
I pulled the flash drive back up from the server. Play it. Screen flickered. Dad's video will. Hidden in the mill's ruins. Girls. If I go. It was me. The whistleblower, self-defense. Factory was poison. He pushed too hard. Forgive your old man.
Tears.
Confession. No murder, accident. Covered by pride. She crumpled.
He.
We thought. You acted on lies. I leaned close. Like framing me. Sobs racked her, my frame. I protected us. Evan pushed the bribes. I fixed it. The swap crow's idea. To testify clean. Protected? Or power grab. Lines dissolved at 30,000 feet. Descent to Grand Cayman. Palms like green knives. Beaches mocking our storm. We deplaned to a villa, hers. Stocked with cash. Passports. Hiding in paradise. Sisters swapped and stranded. Nights blurred. Fevers from decoherence. Hallucinations blending lives. Her prom night thrill. My bar exam grind. We'd talk, raw. Ragged, unearthing secrets like shrapnel. The hit and run. Panic. Not malice. Dad's fraud. Desperation. Not deceit. Betrayals layered.
But blood beneath.
Tommy called. Feds closing in. Extradition. Come clean. Victoria, in my body, nodded. Together. Controversial pact. Surrender. But with a twist. I'd pose as her. Confess the swap. Expose Crow.
She. As me.
The victim reclaiming her name. Back in Chicago.
Don Ride Redux, Villa stormed.
Us in cuffs. Press frenzy. Twisted sisters. Body swap scandal rocks finance world. Interrogation room. Mirrored. Sterile. Feds gawked as we sync stories. Neural scans confirming the impossible. Crow cracked next day. Spilling the tech's dark web. Evan flipped. Rotting hail for leniency. Cassie vanished. But not before a tabloid tell-all. Trials loomed. Months of psych evals. Ethicists debating identity theft precedents. Victoria and I. Side by side in jumpsuits, her and mine. Me and hers. Whispered plans. Revenge? Or rebirth? But the headaches peaked. Visions fracturing. One night. Cell block quiet. She slipped me a smuggled booster, her last card. Choose, she mouthed. Inject her? Reclaim myself? Or her? Let her fade. Me eternal in power skin? Fingers hovered. Clock ticked. The courtroom in the Dirksen Federal Building was a coliseum of polished wood and whispered judgments. Chicago's elite packed into pews like sinners at confessional. Flashbulbs popped as we entered. Victoria in my old body. Frail under fluorescent lights. Me and hers. Poised like a panther in Chanel. Months since the villa bust. Trials converged. Fraud. Conspiracy. The unprecedented neural transference assault. Crow testified first. Voice quavering. It was consensual. At first.
Lies.
His eyes begged mercy I'd never grant. Evan took the stand next. Shackled subtly. Charm eroded to plea. Victoria masterminded it, laundering through Alice's accounts to shield my indiscretions. He glanced at Cassie in the gallery. Her died job screaming flight risk. The betrayal stung fresh. But I'd weaponized it, her affair the spark for his flip. Senator Hale loomed largest. Silver Fox turned cornered rat. Denying bribes till recordings played, his voice gravelly. Fund the pack.
Crow.
The text gold. Swap out the liabilities. Applause from prosecutors. Gasps from the cheap seats. Our turn. I rose, Victoria's poised my armor, and faced the bench. Your Honor.
I Melis Viver.
This body. It's not mine. Gasps rippled. I detailed the swap, the retreat, the machine, the frame. Exhibits, scans, emails, the shattered vials residue. My sister didn't just steal funds, she stole me. Sold my home, my identity, to bury our family sins. Victoria followed, my voice trembling authentic.
I panicked.
Dad's death. The factory collapse, it broke us. I thought the swap protected Alice from the fallout. But I was wrong.
Greedy.
Afraid. The judge, a no-nonsense black woman from the South Side, leaned forward. MS. Weaver, or whoever you are, this court's no sci-fi novel. But the evidence. She paused, scanning psych reports. Decoherence imminent. Reversal impossible without risking both lives. Murmurs swelled. Ethicists in the back row scribbled furiously, debatable endgame. Mercy kill the tech. Or pioneer reversal. Closing arguments. Prosecution hammered conspiracy, painting us as villainous twins. Defense, top dollar. Hargrove retainers, pleaded diminished capacity. Neural duress.
Me?
I stared at the jury, blue-collar folks from the wards, eyes hard with Windy City cynicism. We betrayed each other, I said, voice steady. But blood's thicker than law. Judge us as sisters, not monsters. Verdict, hung on the swap's legality, mistrial on fraud. Remanded for identity arbitration. Hale got 15, Evan. 8 with cooperation, Crow. Life for the black market ring. Cassie skated on a plea, but her tell-all tanked in libel suits. Outside, paparazzi swarmed like midges. Alice. Was it worth it? Victoria. Monster or victim? We linked arms, awed, reversed and pushed through. Reginald waited with the Bentley. Loyal ghost.
Home.
Ladies. The brownstone felt haunted. Echoes of Dad's ghost in the creeks. We retreated to the attic. Dust motes dancing in sunset shafts. The journal lay open. Girls.
Forgive.
Live true. Fevers raged that night. Collapse accelerating. Hallucinations merged. Her wedding dance. My first solo audit. Dad's laugh blending ours. Choose, she whispered from the cot beside mine. The booster. Smuggled by Tommy, final controversial act. Who'd live? Me and my skin. Her and hers? Or one eternal? The other echo? Dawn broke. I held the syringe. We both. I lied. Injecting half each. Risky, untested. But mercy. Twisted. Agony arched us. Bodies convulsing like exorcisms. Skin stretched. Bones shifted, sci-fi writ real. Hours blurred, then quiet. Eyes opened, mine in mine, hers in hers. Swap reversed, fragile. But the twist, the truth inverted, hit like aftershock. In the haze, memory flooded. Not her drugging me, but me volunteering the swap. Desperate to escape my rut, taste her power. She'd resisted. I'd pushed Crow. Forged consent. The frame? Mutual, her laundering my idea. To fund a fresh start. The apartment sale. My directive. Texted in blackout. I'd been the schemer, burying her weakness under my ambition. Sisters, mirrored monsters. She stirred, eyes hers meeting mine.
Al.
We switched back. But who won? No one. Redemption's Pyrrhic, trials lingered, but we'd testify together. Unravel the net. Dad's sins absolved in our confession. Months later, the apartment, reclaimed via legal twist, undue influence suit, my forged deed invalidated. We moved in together, walls repainted, ghosts aired. Ending? Happy reunited, rebuilding. Or tragic, forever scarred, trust fractured. Debatable, like Chicago winters, brutal, but blooming come spring. We poured Chianti on the dunes, toes in sand. To betrayals, she toasted. And comebacks, I clinked. Blood thicker. Always.